Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I talk about tarot and all things related, and I'm ready for you. I have my tea. It's already cold, but it's fine. And I'm holding this Thoth deck. It's called the Thoth Nebula. It's a Thoth deck or Thoth, whatever, with very different colors. I love it. This is very much my aesthetic. So this is the deck that I'll be holding in my hands for this video. I have some notes and I'm going to reference them. Too bad. My name is Anna and I'm a professional tarot reader, and I'm going to talk to you about spiritual jargon. So I'm addressing tarot clients today. However, this video is going to be valuable for tarot readers as well. So, tarot clients. It's important to speak the same language as your reader. And no, I'm not talking about actual language like English, French, or Dutch. I'm talking about spiritual ones. Not all spiritual jargon is universal. When you word your question in a way that isn't possible to understand by anyone who doesn't follow, I don't know, the same guru or path as you, you're off on a rocky start with your tarot reader. Let me get this out of the way right away. This, of course, applies as well to tarot readers. I've gotten very comfortable using terms as the universe, for instance. The universe is sending you this message, right? With the Two of Cups, for instance. There you go. However, I do have a lot of first-time tarot clients. That's just the nature of the business that I do. I do a lot of short introductory tarot readings at a metaphysical store. Therefore, you might want to pick up on what type of person is sitting in front of you. Are they spiritual at all? Are they just trying it out because you just happen to sit there and it's within their budget to do a short reading? Do they believe in the same thing as you do? Is the universe actually this living organism, this living being that is communicating with us? Or should I rather just stick to outside forces are telling you that the Four of Wands has a message, and then of course I translate that card. Let's get into all of this. First of all, how to word the best tarot questions. In my opinion, a very good tarot question sounds like this. What can I do or consider to make fill in the blank come into my life? For instance, okay? That is something that I personally can work with. If it's something that's about predicting the future, etc., I mean, I have many other videos talking about exactly this. Just look through all of them on my channel if you're interested in hearing my crazy thoughts about it. For instance, it's often called tarot ethics. But there's still always, for me as a professional tarot reader, to work with questions like this. Either I change them, I bring in, I bring in my input, or I do this sort of disclaimer sandwich. Anyway, sometimes the questions are worded in a way that is clear to me the person asking it is very much into spirituality, maybe watches a lot of tarot content or witchcraft content on YouTube, or some sort of guided meditation, stuff like that. Maybe even sometimes they are into, I don't know, the myth of Atlantis or something like that. However, sometimes I feel that they expect me to follow the same path or use and understand the same types of words, jargon, as they are. And it's not a bad thing, it just happens, right? But there can be a little bit of a misunderstanding there. Quite literally not understanding what we are saying to each other, and then also maybe sometimes a misunderstanding because left-hand path, even just that is a very common term, can still very much be misinterpreted. I'm making this video to make people aware. As I said, tarot clients and tarot readers alike. But of course me, I'm most often on the tarot reader side, so that's my perspective. I am talking about questions that sound like this. And this is, of course, made up because there's just no way that I could possibly recreate the phrases I've heard throughout the years. Sometimes I get questions like this. Why does my aura self create karmic connections to my Shakti side? And how come it's hidden in the underlying majestic twin flame I have with the spirit of my angel ancestors? I'm not even sure if there's actually a question in there, but I've had clients and bless them, right? You're all welcome, right? That's what I'm trying to say. But this gives me this different stance, I feel. It gives me the type of work where I have to first translate what it is the people are saying. And I don't want my tarot clients to have to do the same type of work when I am interpreting the cards for them, right? So I am often surprised when I get that basically flipped around on me when the client is fluent in the spiritual jargon that I know nothing about. And that doesn't make me feel at all like I'm missing out on something. It's different. You see that fake question, obviously. It doesn't even really sound like a question to me because that's what it sounds like to me sometimes. And again, it's okay. I just would love to have this video out there on YouTube, on the tarot tube, because nobody ever talked about this as far as I know. And I do actually think it's a very valuable thing to have this discussion and maybe some tips from Crazy Anna. There you go. Obviously, guys, you have to understand, we can definitely get woo-woo with the cards, and I can absolutely read them without any question. Without any question in mind, I mean. You don't actually have to have a question ready for me to interpret your cards. I can start reading your cards and we go from there. That's actually a lovely experience as well. We just see what comes up for you, but essentially, if you do formulate a question, eventually I'm going to need to hear one I understand, meaning one I can work with, okay? Because it's the starting point of the reading, and hopefully the answer to that is the end result. That's just a tip. Because, I mean, again, talking from my own perspective, I'm pretty much a down to earth tarot reader, I would say. The reason I'm saying this is because I tend to not make a reading into some sort of long, extended, heavy feeling ritual. I don't always need to have a candle burning. I don't always need crystals by my side. I don't always need incense. I don't need to hold your hands before we start. I don't need someone's picture. All I need is tarot cards. And that is one of my loves for the tarot because essentially all you need is one deck. That's all you need. And even that truly is debatable. You can get really creative with just some blank paper, a pen, and scissors. Maybe less fun, but you can still do it. So all I need is tarot cards. And if that's not magical or mystical enough for you, it's just not your vibe. It's totally okay if you find yourself a reader who loves leaning into all that additional, I called it smoke and mirrors and fluff stuff in my notes. I really don't mean hate, okay? As a magical practitioner myself, I love the fluff stuff because it arguably isn't fluff. I love contradicting myself in these videos. You must have noticed that by now. But that's a good discussion, isn't it? It's just different parts of your brain coming up with different opinions. I'm just standing by. If you want a tarot reading, find someone who reads cards. And if you want to read the tarot cards yourself, then start reading the cards. You really, really don't have to start with a meditation, with lighting a candle, with a song, setting the mood, whatever. You can, of course, but there is no norm. And isn't that just a delight to realize? there is no norm. And you're not going to get a better experience or a more helpful tarot reading from someone who does all the extra stuff, right? Because again, the craft of tarot is reading the tarot cards. So there you go. I mean, I obviously do readings for clients, but I do so many readings for myself as well. And sometimes it's just slinging the cards, you know? You don't even have a spread in mind. You don't even have a spread. You don't even have a question in mind, or you just want one message for the day and then you're done. Okay? It can be that. Or you make it into this elaborate ritual. Absolutely. And you can use tarot cards in spell work as well. I mean, it's great. It's very versatile. But again, I'm just stressing the fact that I personally love the pure form of tarot as well, because you're gonna get something out of it anyway. And it's just the cards and the reader and you. So yeah, there's no norm. You know what else? There is no such thing as a standard tarot spread. Say it louder for the people in the back. If you come and sit at my table and expect to see a specific spread, you are going to be disappointed. Unless it's the spread that I often use. Unless you know me and you know that I often start by reading 3 cards and then we go from there, especially with the short form readings, again, at the store. I have my own tried and tested methods, and therefore I use my own spreads. And I know a lot of tarot readers, modern readers, operate in the same way. Now look, the Celtic Cross is not my cup of tea. I have done it. I even vlogged about it. It was a lot of fun. It was tarot experimentation 101 for me. But this is the thing. The Celtic Cross, probably the most known and popular tarot spread in the Western world at least, it's a very popular one. And we also have that Lenormand 9-card spread, which I actually think tarot readers don't really tend to use. It's not what I use as a standard, and I think it's not a norm. There's no standard tarot spread. I think maybe a lot of people still are a fan of the Celtic Cross, for instance, but it's not something that I would say a tarot client should expect their tarot reader to use. I actually had, little side note, years ago now, I don't know, 7 years ago, this person sitting down at my tarot table, actually I remember they wanted something very general. That's good, so just a check-in. I started off, I always shuffle the cards, then fan them out, and they picked 3 cards. They were already surprised that I told them you can pick 3 cards. Again, short reading, okay? They were going to pick 9 for that Lenormand 9-card spread. And we had this little back and forth about, oh, you're not using the standard tarot spread? And I asked her, what standard tarot spread? I don't think there is a standard tarot spread. I'm using this spread, and let me explain to you what the positions mean. You'll get a lot out of it. But you see, I have a feeling that person had readings, maybe not even with tarot cards, but with any other type of cards, right? Might have been oracle cards for all I know, by the same person a couple of times at least. And that's all the experience that they had. And so they were expecting to see the exact same thing from me, and that is unrealistic. Now that's not, I feel, harsh criticism. It's just everybody's different, and just because I'm a tarot reader and this person next to me is a tarot reader, it definitely doesn't mean that we use the same methods or that we even interpret the lovers in the same way. So let's keep all of those things in mind. Maybe even this could be some sort of mental permission slip for young tarot readers out there. You do have to believe in what you do, and it's a craft, so I believe in practicing it. But you know, the validation obviously comes from within, but also you can see it in experience, in how your tarot clients overall react to what they heard from you. And so don't let people tell you that you're doing it wrong, that you're supposed to use the Celtic cross or the 9-card Lenormand spread, or that you're supposed to say a specific word while interpreting the Lover's card, etc. Long story short, if I start laying down cards for you and you tell me basically that I'm doing it wrong because you wanted either one of those tarot spreads or another basic one that I haven't mentioned, that's frankly not going to sit very well with me, because keep this in mind, you have entered my realm. It's not the other way around. And yes, it is your time, absolutely, but I know how I read the cards, and that includes spread positions and which questions we ask the cards and which questions we do not, which questions work and which ones don't, and how we can possibly formulate them. So at least I'm a little bit in the loop as well on what we are actually discussing. Just to get back to the, we have to have the same spiritual words, we have to speak the same language, you know? So I said it won't sit well with me. Now, to be clear, I'm not gonna be the one to tell you off, okay? I'm not really like that. But understand that a good professional tarot reader, in my opinion, knows more than just what every individual tarot card means. They know how to pick up on the connections between the cards. They have countless techniques to interpret them. They know how to spin any question to fit the craft that is reading cards. So you see how that works? Basically, the question, the energy, the expectations, the belief even of the person sitting at the tarot table in front of the reader, all of that has to fit into the language of tarot, because there's only one interpreter at that table. Good tarot readers also know when the querent is invested and open to the reading, or they think that maybe it is beneath them. That's funny. Didn't you sit at my table? Now that is actually the right dynamic. Again, tarot clients, I love you guys. You've been great, but here are some tips. The question needs to make sense. The question needs to fit the cards. Don't expect every tarot reader to do the same thing. We are all different human beings, different individuals, and we're going to do it our own way because we've tried and tested it. Who is the experienced one at the table here? The reader. Also, me, as a reader, I sometimes get tarot readings from someone, and I'm not going to tell them how to do their job. So be open, you know, be open and respectful. Frankly, that's what it is, because yes, it is your time. You did put down money for it, but that's just the thing. You have already valued the work of that person. Now it is up to you, to a certain extent, of course, to trust it. You are allowed to take things with a grain of salt. I even tell people to do that sometimes. It's just, again, because I want them to have the most helpful reading possible at that time in their life. Now, you may say, I'm not a typical tarot reader, but honestly, I think that there are just so many different types of readers out there. It's naive, truly, to assume that you will get a certain spread or answer or method. It's totally okay to not know what to expect from a reader when you know nothing about them. Simply, I would say, just try to be open to how your reading is approached, and then you can make up your mind if it's really something for you, that you feel good about it, that you want to repeat it. For the client as well, it's trial and error. My idea is always, as a client, all you have to do is trust the cards, that the cards you're going to get are the right ones. So basically synchronicity, and you trust that the reader knows how to interpret them for you. Now, I know both of those, for some people it's really hard, and I know from experience as well, in different stages in your life, if you're going through a very difficult moment, it's hard to trust, but that really is the only thing that you can do. That and be open. It's also totally okay if a specific tarot reader's style doesn't align with you, with your expectations or your values, if it's not what you're looking for, or you've had a negative experience with a reader, then this still doesn't indicate that you can never have a helpful reading ever again, because perhaps the reader's personality, their level of experience, or way of expressing themselves was the reason it didn't work for you. That doesn't mean that the tarot is completely out for you. It's okay to look for another reader. My last video got fewer views than most of the other ones that I upload on this channel. It's okay, it's fine. It was a part 2, you know how it is. However, I got quite a few new patrons after that one. It's a surprise to me that they came at that moment, but it's cool, and I just want to take this opportunity to welcome you all to that magical space. I talk about my magical practice on Patreon much more than I talk about tarot, but I definitely discuss the two. However, YouTube, I generally try to stick to tarot. And okay, all things related, but yeah, the magical stuff. It's much more personal deep dives over on Patreon, and I'm glad you guys are joining. So let me know in the comments what you thought of my tips today. And yeah, that's it. I'll very gladly see you in the next video. Bye.